When somebody asks from me, who am I? What are you doing in your life? Well, it's always hard to pinpoint it down. Who am I? But yeah, I'm a human being. I have a name, and so maybe it comes out naturally during this little conversation. Who am I? Because basically, I am what I do. What we are doing in our life defines us. I have to be honest, I have gone to school as well. I went for civil engineering because apparently it was a very good choice because people always will build and that's a good market to target. So I was doing it for 2 years and then I decided, yeah, maybe there's something else also there. I started to think that maybe I'm not on the right train. I might need more freedom or creativity in my life. Where is this train bringing me? Do I really want to be on that train? Okay, what if I would be really successful in that field and would make lots of money and that would be like successful? And then I was like, yeah, but what then? Would I be happy? Eventually I came back here in Saaremaa and I started to grow herbs. So I went to the roots, to working with the land as deeply as possible. I take the nature as a canvas you can paint on, so to speak, but it's a living painting, living paints and living paintings. I just like the idea. It's possible to play around with the forests. What if we would, as human beings, play around with the nature in bigger scale than we do now? What if we are really gardeners on this planet? And what kind of garden we would like to see here? In a way, I really like order and chaos together. So, like I made a pattern in my garden and now I let the wilder or wilderness to be in that pattern. The latter grew out of the garden. When I started to work in my garden, I already had the idea or the vision or the dream about this, like a spectacular forest which is abundant of food and life. And as I'm making wooden instruments out of trees, so for me also making didgeridoos is giving voice to the forest. So it's, in Estonian language, it's metsa hääl. All the wooden instruments are in a way voice of the forest echoing after the tree has fallen. I can make didgeridoos because they just happened to come in my life, and what if by people buying these instruments made from the forests, I will use that resources to make that dream forest, to plant like 100 or 1000 fruit or food trees in the forest, and not to plant them there to harvest all the fruits there and sell them, but to plant them there so everybody could have them, like the animals and the birds and everything, and you can walk in the forest and come back from the forest like you go in the blueberry forest. It's just, there's more stuff in the forest. Still, I can't say that I'm this very experienced forest guy who has studied a lot, but maybe I'm brave enough to give it a try. I really like the saying, the fool who persists in its folly will become wise. So, is it perfect? Is it good enough? Yeah, it is good enough because I like to think that I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't worry about how it's done. I just give my best and try to enjoy myself while doing it. One way is to make it into art. So whatever work you have, if you take the work as art or as play, it's much easier to do it, even if it's hard or it's a huge task and it takes a long time. That's also that's the part I love the most. Making the didgeridoos when they get into that phase where you start to fine-tune them, or you start to put them in the tune and you get the first sound out of it. So every time I finish the didgeridoo, it's kind of like opening the present, because you don't know what's there.
Maybe it would go a bit higher.
In that sense, didgeridoo also goes in that project because it comes also out of the nature. So the sound is created by the nature, and if you don't control too much how you make the didgeridoo, then you are just part of that creation. You don't create that much. You allow creation to become something through you. How do I know the idea is worthy of creation? I don't. I really don't. Because you don't know before you have tried it out. There's no other way. As I see, it's very important that it moves yourself first. And for me, it only moves others if it moves you. It's hard to have the clear vision because I have never had concretely clear vision, and it hasn't come true in a way I have visioned, or I have never put too much effort to vision exactly how it will be. There's more the feeling or the pull to something, and then I just follow it. And I have got into unexpected places, or my dreams in a way have come true. I mean, I'm here in this place. I have quite a lot of freedom in my life. And that's what I dreamed like 10 years ago. And now it's there. And I still have dreams. So with the labyrinth, I had the idea 1 year, and 1 year later I just did it. And what was in my mind, it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least I have it on the field, and I can start to feel it, how it is to be in that labyrinth. And then you can see what happens, and you can have new ideas. You can start to have feedback. Before you haven't done anything, your feedback is only in your mind. It can be tricky because it's imaginary, but if you really make something, then you immediately start to have the feedback. There needs to be doing, so you will have feedback, so you know how to improve. Sometimes there's a struggle in the beginning to get into the creation zone, and the struggle is because you haven't completely decided yet that you want to do it. But as the decision is made and you know that you will do it, then it's kind of like a meditation. Although meditation is tend to be something of non-doing, but it doesn't feel anymore like doing when you have decided. It's as going in the cold water. And the only way to do it is to make the decision that you will do it. And then your mind will become quiet. You're starting to take off the clothes, that's already doing it. And you don't think about stepping in the water, you step in the water. So you don't let the mind to interfere with this, yeah, but what if, or don't do it, or it will be terrible, or so on, because once you have done it, you will feel good, because you have pushed your borders, you have done something terrifying. That was really lively experience, because like making these crazy things come true, the only thing what can happen is you will feel more alive. How I feel when I create. A coward, like really a huge coward. But I still try to do my best even though I'm afraid. And sometimes because I'm afraid. Sometimes I take it's a good sign that you're afraid. Then it's worth it, because if you do it, at least you have challenged yourself, or you have faced something you haven't been wanting to face. So you will learn something new about yourself or others, etc. I feel afraid quite often, and I feel excited as well. That's the other part. That's what helps to get over. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed because it's like a lot of unknowingness and how to do it, and too much information, but also the unknowingness is extremely exciting. Oh my God, I don't know what will happen. How wonderful. In here, I also hope that beginner's mind will always stay there, because so I wouldn't be confident enough never to say like, that's how it is, because who am I to say to anybody that's how it is? That's why I always put in the end, yeah, but do whatever you feel like, and don't listen to much other people's opinions, especially when they are really concrete. One message I would like to share or say out is, even though it can sound too hippish maybe, but just let it happen. Don't be worried about the most important things in your life, because I have the feeling that the most important things in your life are the things you can't not do. It's like you can't prevent yourself not to do the most important stuff. You will do it. Now it's the matter of time how long you will suffer until you do it, because not doing it is suffering. So that's why I say, in a way, we don't have free choice in the world in this way. We only have one choice: to suffer or to do what we are supposed to do. As long as we don't do what we feel and excites us, we are suffering because we prevent ourselves to be who we are. And when we let it happen, when we unleash that creativity, that you-ness, that uniqueness, then we feel good. Until another thing will come, what's your thing to do? And as long as you prevent yourself doing it, you will suffer. And it's your choice, and you don't have to be harsh on yourself if you choose the path of suffering. It's also can be pretty beautiful.